You spent 20 years running the retirement math. 401k balance, withdrawal rate, social security break even. 6 months in, the money is fine and you are not. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where the harder problem lives, why it hits inside the first 6 months, and the one audit you can run tonight before you ever hand in your notice. And the answer has nothing to do with your 401k balance. There's a second balance sheet running under your retirement. Nobody audits it in advance. And on the same Monday your paycheck stops, it goes bankrupt. Here's the setup. You do everything right. You max the 401k, you pay off the mortgage. You wait until 67 for Social Security. You hit retirement day with more money than the calculators told you to save. And 6 months later, you feel worse than you have in years. That does not fit any retirement plan you have ever read. Every one of them tracks a single ledger. Money in, money out, assets, liabilities, income streams, tax brackets, 30 years of preparation, all pointed at one balance sheet. There is a second one. It has been quietly funded by your job for as long as you have worked, and the day you retire, it drops to zero. Nobody hands you a statement for it. Most people don't know it exists until it starts running a deficit. Call it the second ledger. 4 line items. All of them get paid by your job right now. All of them stop paying on your first Monday off. Line item 1 on the second ledger is identity. Your work is not just what you do. It's how strangers introduce you. It's how your family describes you at dinner. It's the first sentence of your bio. When that sentence stops being true, you don't automatically get a new one. You get a hyphen. Retired something. And a hyphen is not a self-image. The most cited study ever done on retirement mental health from the Institute of Economic Affairs found that retirement raises the odds of clinical depression by roughly 40%. The spike lands hardest inside the first year. That's not old age doing that, it's the identity gap. Line item 2 is structure. This one you can put a number on. A full-time job structures roughly 48 hours of your week, not just the working hours. The commute, the morning routine that leads to the working hours, the lunch, the meetings that break up the afternoon, the wind down at the end. On retirement day, those 48 hours don't disappear. They become empty. That is a second full-time job's worth of unstructured time, dropped in your lap on day 1 with no manager assigning tasks. Call it the structure void. Most people fill it with television inside 2 weeks and never leave. Line item 3 is social contact. This is the one that surprises people most. Ask any middle-aged adult where their friendships come from. Somewhere between half and 3/4 of them will point back to work. Colleagues, clients. The relationships that formed in the parking lot, over lunch, on the shared project that ran 9 months. Retirement does not just end your paycheck. It ends the daily container that produced most of your adult relationships. The people are still there, the container isn't. And without the container, most work friendships fade inside 18 months. Line item 4 is purpose. Purpose is not the same as identity. Identity is what you are. Purpose is why you get out of bed. For most of your working life, purpose was outsourced. The deadline provided it. The team needed you. The project had to ship. On the day you retire, the outsourcing ends. You are the person deciding alone at 7 in the morning whether today matters. That is a heavier lift than anyone tells you it will be. Now the math reveal. If your money ledger runs a $2,000 a month shortfall, you catch it inside a quarter. Your bank balance drops. You feel it, you adjust. That's what a good financial plan gives you. Early detection. The second ledger runs the same kind of shortfall, but nobody set up the detection. Identity, structure, social contact, purpose, every one of them can run a deficit for 6 months before you notice. And by the time you notice, the ledger has already compounded into a mood problem, or a marriage problem, or a health problem. It's not weakness, it's an unfunded liability. The system you spent 30 years inside was quietly paying for 4 line items at once. It stops paying for all 4 on the same Monday. Nobody hands you the invoice, but you are now responsible for every one. 3 people. Same retirement year, 3 different second ledgers. Take mark. 65. $2 million saved. Paid off house. Every dollar figure in his plan is exactly where his advisor said it should be. His money ledger closes clean. What Mark did not audit is that his identity was 100% his job title. His structure came entirely from a calendar someone else built, and his four closest friends were all in the same office. On day 30 of retirement, Mark is fine. On day 180, he is watching cable news for 6 hours a day and picking fights at dinner. His money plan works. Everything else is bankrupt. It's not the money that failed him. It's the four other line items nobody made him track. Take Linda, 62, $900,000 saved. Well below Mark. On paper, her retirement is tighter. But 8 years before her retirement date, Linda starts teaching a Saturday pottery class at the community center. By retirement day, that class has become a weekly identity, a fixed structure, a social circle of a dozen regulars, and a purpose she would have paid to keep. On her first Monday off, 3 of the 4 line items on the second ledger are already funded. She does not have to build them from cold. She inherits them. Linda's money plan is thinner than Mark's. Her second ledger runs a surplus. 10 years in, she is the happier retiree by every measure that matters. Take David, 68, $500,000 saved. Thinnest budget of the 3. David does not fully retire. He negotiates a 2-day-a-week consulting arrangement with his former firm. It's a bridge, not a career. But those 2 days deliver him 20 hours of built-in structure, one continuing identity thread, a shrinking but still alive social circle, and a residual sense of purpose because someone is still waiting on his answer. David's money ledger is the tightest of the 3. His second ledger is the most stable. And he is not doing this because he needs the money. He is doing it because he audited the second balance sheet and knew what would happen if he zeroed it out overnight. Same year, same country, same social security schedule, 3 completely different retirements. And the difference is not money. 2 implications land here, and both are new to this generation. The first is generational. Gen X is the first cohort of American retirees who arrive with no pension and, for many, no daily workplace to lose in the first place. 5 years of remote and hybrid work already thinned the incidental social contact line item down to near zero. For a lot of Gen X professionals, retirement isn't the end of daily social contact. It's the confirmation that daily social contact quietly ended in 2020 and nobody named it. That means the second ledger deficit starts before retirement day, not on it. If your workday is already an isolated laptop in a spare bedroom, you cannot count on your job to keep funding line items 3 and 4 for you. The second is medical. The identity gap and the structure void do not stay abstract. They show up on your primary care chart. Retirees who lose all 4 line items at once have measurably worse cardiovascular outcomes, faster cognitive decline in the first 3 years, and a quiet dependence on the medical system for casual social contact. That last one is not a metaphor. In a lot of retiree calendars, the appointment at the doctor's office is the only human interaction that week. Your health plan is not designed to be a substitute for a social calendar, but that is exactly what it quietly becomes when nothing else fills the gap. Here is the takeaway. Retirement is not one balance sheet. It is 2. The one your advisor built for you and the one nobody built for you. Tonight, open a blank page. Write 4 words down the left margin: identity, structure, social contact, purpose. Under each word, write 1 sentence naming what your job currently provides. That is the exact deficit you would inherit if you retired tomorrow. That is the audit nobody ran for you. Not the money. The other ledger. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more simple explanations.